So today, I got a treat for y'all. I'm actually going to do a computer build, which I haven't gotten to do in a while. So there's going to be a process to this. It isn't like I know this case, so everything's different with different cases. I did get all my parts in, so this is going to be fun because I finally get to build my own computer for the first time in God knows how long. So the first thing with this Fantex case, and this is a Fantex, it's an Ethanu Pro. All right. So first thing I'm gonna do is take out these little screws, like right down here. There's one there, and one here. All right, and that will allow you to open your case. All right, and then pull out. I had these parts in here just for pictures and safekeeping. I am going to be putting in. I do have two 1 terabyte NVMe drives, M2s. I've got myself a Ryzen 7 5000. It's a 5800X. And I'm not going all out. Well, one, because I couldn't get my good graphics card anyways. There's none in stock. And two, because I only got a 650 watt power supply. But that's okay. It's fully modular. It will allow us to do a lot of the things that we need to do. So let's get everything opened. But we will pull out the power supply. Come on. Let's see what we're working with here. Ooh, so we got a bag, which I'm assuming, because I've never seen a bag come with a power supply, is going to be for any cables that we don't use, which is nice to have. You got all your modular cables right here, so we got those. More cables. The screws for it to hold it in place. And oh sweet, they even gave us some straps for cord management. So let's get all this out of here. Get this out of here. And now let's pull this bad boy out. So what I like about this case, and the reason I bought it, is one, because it has this here, which is what your power supply will sit under. So that's awesome. It hides it. It's because power supplies, and you have a bunch of cords out, especially coming off your power supply, they tend to look ugly. So we'll pull this out, and I am gonna have to undo this case. So yeah, I'm gonna end up standing this bad boy up so that I can do everything. But I'll probably put, like I said, my motherboard on first. So here's the power supply. So we got that. Next, let's unbox our motherboard. Take a look at this. Yes, technically I should be wearing some type of grounding strap, but I just touch metal to make sure that I'm grounded. That, and I'm on hardwood floor, so I don't worry about it. Can I still damage things? Of course. It's the risk I've run, so if you have the opportunity and you're working with hardware, safety for your device, your components always says wear a grounding strap, but I am not. So just be aware. It is safer if you do. So this is our motherboard. Here's all your ports on the side. And again, once it's built, we'll be able to see them all as well. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna take this sticker off now, just because I like having stickers on my stuff. And again, a lot of things I do aren't safe for the devices themselves, but I do it anyways, just because that's the type of person I am. I'm not gonna say it's the best way to do things, but it's how I do it. So, let's see. This is being pain. Go figure. It's the only thing that sucks when building computers is sometimes things get in the way. Let's take this sticker off. All right, are we in? One there, one there. All right. And I beg of you, I've built quite a few computers in my time, and don't make the same mistake I made years and years ago when I was building computers, or when I built one of my computers. I was an idiot. I'll admit it. I was an idiot. And I had my screwdriver. Not going to find it. And didn't, what do you call it? I didn't put the spacers in. Like I said, thankfully this one has spacers. I don't got to worry about it. But my dumbass did not put the spacers in. So I ended up frying a motherboard. Not something you want to happen. But it is something that happened to me. We all learn from our mistakes, or at least I would hope so. Now let's... It happens. Yes, that is the case. The asus series. Bunch of fun stuff. And yes, all these parts. Boys, found them. So we screw the motherboard into the spacers, and my case came with a ton of screws, so just make sure you use the right ones. But motherboard is now in. So the next thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna stand this up, and I gotta put the power supply in. So let's shut this. And again, as long as the power isn't connected, like I'm not gonna connect all the cables for the power supply. We're just going to get it installed in here so that I can start running power. So you guys can see. So we need to get into this back panel. All right. So same way as the front, because we're gonna need this back panel anyways. Oh, sorry for moving the camera there, guys. So back here, take these screws off. Again, another reason I chose this case is because it makes things so much cleaner when you have all this back here. Makes it easier to do your cabling, make it pretty, because things hide behind solid covering as opposed to wide open on the case itself. So I can go with that. Speed this up, get this done. And we're gonna pull this bad boy off. So now we have access to everything in there. Keep the thumb screws that I pulled off with that, so I don't lose them. Now we're gonna take our power supply, and again, it's modular, so I don't have to hook anything up to it yet. So as you can see, all those openings, nothing has to be plugged in just yet, but we can put it in place so that we can get it screwed in and then don't have to worry about it. We can plan our cabling and everything around it. So, and again, this case can handle bigger power supplies, can do a lot more with it. This is just the one I chose, so it's the one we're going with. So now, so we got that in there. Now, in the back, and I'll show you this once I get it screwed in. Wait, is that on? All right, there we go. So, 4 screws in. All right. Now, we have several options on what we can do next. So we're back. So this right here is where your CPU is going to go. Again, mine's an MD, and it is the 5800X. All right. So that's where my processor is going to go. Then you have your memory right here. So this is where your RAM goes. And again, I got 32 gigs of that. And we're going to put in, it's a graphics card that's never been used. It's just not my preferred one. We're going to put in an RX 580 so that we can get our graphics up and running. So same. This here is your processor. All right. As you can see, grab it by the sides. Do not grab it top. Use the side. So you lift that. You come out. Now on here, and you can't really see it that well, but down here is a triangle. And underneath your CPU, you will see the same triangle. So you match those up, and you match the notch. All right. So again, that triangle and that notch, if you look down here, don't crush your pins. Make sure it's in there properly. But where that L shape is, where that cutout is, the arrow is actually up here. So I was looking at it wrong, but that's okay. So you make sure it sits in there. Don't jam it. Make sure it sits down. And you close it. There you go. Now your processor's in there. And yes, we're going to put a cooler on it too, because I got a cooler. It's pretty awesome. So that'll go on there. Not yet though. And you can see the M2 slots have their own heat sinks on them. There are 2. So let me get this opened. So I've got 2 Samsung M80 or NVMe drives, M.2s, and they're SSD 980s. So all they are is this little chip. So if you haven't seen one before, that's what your hard drive is. Well, that's what the new M2s are. And mine are 1 terabyte drives. All right, so now that we have the one M2 drive in, what we're going to do is we're going to put the other one in. And I apologize you couldn't see me put that last one in. Camera wasn't exactly where it needed to be. That's okay. Let's get this other one out. All right, so the first thing we got to do, like I said, since you guys couldn't see this last time, I'm going to show you now, is we got to take the heatsink. Helps if I have the right screwdriver. You got to take the heat sinks off of the slot where the M2 hard drive goes. So we unscrew these. That comes up. And that's your M2 slot right there. That's where the hard drive is going to go. And on the back of this is this little rubber piece or foam piece that is made for made to go behind these hard drives. So don't worry, we're going to peel that sticker off, and it'll go right on this. So when you're installing these, there's a notch, as you can see right here, and then down here in the board, which you might not be able to see too well, but there's a notch right there. So you put this in so that it slides between that notch and you get it all the way in, and we're going to put it down. Then on the back of this, we're going to peel this green stuff off, the green covering, which isn't exactly easy, but easy enough. So let's see if this will work better. I think I did have it wrong. You go there, you go there. There we go. All right, we got it. Cool. All right, we're in there. In there. All right. So now we got our solid state drives installed, both of them. So next, we have a few options, but for me, I'm gonna install the graphics card. Right, so we're gonna put this in the top slot. So let me get my screwdriver. These are a little tight. And because mine takes up 2 slots, it's gonna be, you gotta take both of these out and then keep them, because you're gonna use these screws to hold your graphics card in place. All right. Check that out. All right, you should go here, right in here. Yeah. All right, there we go. Got that bad boy in. So let's put this up here. That's right, I did have the wrong slot. Like I said though, it's fine. So we put that there. Move this. And we're good to go. And just be careful, you don't want to break or bend any pins or do anything like that. So next thing I'm gonna hook up or put in is actually my cooler for my CPU. So let me get this opened up. And I'm running, as you can see here, a Hyper 212 Black Edition. All right, so we got the computer all stood up, and I was gonna put that piece, so let me show you now that it's completed. I was gonna put this on the back panel, right? Because it comes into the back there. However, due to the way this motherboard's set up right now, with this piece here and this piece here, I cannot do that. And the connectors that I have for my cooler do not allow it to clip onto there. And since I'm not using a retail cooler, we have to switch that out. So we're gonna unscrew this, and then we're going to put that back plane on. So we got that and that off. Hopefully I'm still right. Again, first time I've ever seen that I had to do that. We're gonna get this bad boy on there. Here. All right, hold on, I'll slide this one down. Okay, so we put the back piece on. So now we have those coming through. So the next part that we're gonna do, once that's done, is we're gonna take pieces and we're gonna add them to the screws so that these just sit on there. This is what it looks like. So yeah, this piece and this piece. Oops, get up in the camera a little bit, back up. So we got these 2 pieces. All right, put this on here. These hold it in place. We're gonna do this one. Come on. And now, after that, once those are on, put a little thermal paste on the CPU and get everything hooked up. So let's lay this back down again. All right, so we got the computer laying back down, and we're gonna get this installed. So first things first, we got to take this fan off. All right, so took the fan off of it, as you can see, like I was saying. All right, so we disconnected it. It just kind of pops right off, not a problem. All right, and then the next thing we gotta do is we gotta put the pieces on underneath. They look like this. These got to go on because these screws are going to screw in like that right there. So we got to pull the label off of the bottom of this. Where have my screwdriver? Oh, over here. Let's grab this. I know you guys can't really see what I'm doing right now exactly, but understand while building it myself. Plus, I get to do this video for all of you. All right, so now we're gonna take. We got that on. We got those connectors on, and the next step is actually I could have done it a little bit before, but we're gonna use theirs just because it came with it. I bought my own thermal paste. But this basically helps it stay seated and helps dissipate the heat. It pulls the heat off the CPU. So, the whole thing. I normally don't use the whole thing. But we'll do my fan in this way. Wait, now. Figure out. Where do they have theirs? Their fan. Yeah, goes towards the memory. Alright, cool. So, I am right. Alright, so. Let's do this. Ooh, not good. Not good. Come on, be a piece. Around. Make sure they're all tight. Okay. All right, now we're on there. So, good to go there. Next thing is putting our fan back in place. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here. And like I said, it just kind of snaps on. There's grooves in the back. You can get it in. Let's bring it down a little bit. Make sure it's in place good. All right, there we go. Now, make sure. All right, and again, this is why, I mean, you could do this before you do the graphics card or anything like that. It's going to be fun getting my RAM in, so I'm going to have to be cognizant of that. So let's move that up there. Next, the final piece before we start worrying about power is the memory. Now, if you only have 2 sticks, read your board. Some of your boards are offset numbers. So if you only have 2 sticks of memory, you run them in 1 and 3. Sometimes 2 and 4, but me, I went and got 4 sticks so that I don't have to worry about it, for 1, and for 2, because, well, more memory, more power. So, this right here, all right, has the same notch that those M2 drives did. So, to put them in, you make sure you match up the pin set so that you're not out of line, and when you push them down, they match. All right, and when you do this, the nice thing about it is, as long as we're in, all right. So they snap into the notches on the sides as well, so they'll lock into here. So. And there you go. Now your memory is all in place. Now, if we think about it, we have all the parts in here. Everything's good to go. All right. So now it's about running our cables, getting our power hooked up, and be ready to rock and roll. So I'm gonna lift this case up, and we'll get going from there. All right. As you can see, the back of that back of the tower has a lot of power cables running through it. We will be using those, but what I'm going to do is bring the camera around front so we can see where everything's being hooked up at. All right, everybody. So I got quite a mess on my desk, like I said. More the desk and office area. I got a lot of cleaning to do. So what I've done is I pulled through all the cables from the back panel, all right, that we're going to need. That includes your USB 3.0, your HD audio, your power switch, everything like that. So now I'm gonna go about getting this done. Is we're gonna get this all plugged in. So this right here is my USB 3.0. So there's a connector on it. We're gonna match that connector up and we're gonna put it in here. Hopefully I gave myself enough slack to do this. Alright. There. Alright, cool. So we're in there. Alright, we're good there. Next is these bottom ones. So these bottom ones are a little bit of a pain in the ass, but we'll get them done. Now, in the book, or you can read on here, I like to look at the book. It's a little more detailed. Figure out what goes where. So, we'll do these. So we've got here, move my head out of the way. You have your hard drive LED and your power switch. So we got that, and that. So we got USB 2.0 and HD audio. So the HD audio is gonna go over here, all right? And you gotta match it up. So this is gonna go over here, right? Yeah, all right, I'm good. Now understand, all of your HD audio for every case that I've ever worked with that has an audio jack on it, all has the same pin set. And even here, it says that it's the standard, or it's the compliant pin set for it. So makes it easy. So this just gives me the 2.0 ports on the front of the tower. So now we have those. So with this one first is going to be the main motherboard cable, right? So like I said, this is all like that. So we go from here, let's take a look at what we got, and there, and this goes there. Now, let me get the rest of these hooked up and I'll be right back. Alright, so as you can see, I got everything connected in the power supply, and the reason this isn't going through anywhere is because this isn't going to my graphics card, so I have it being held out so that I can get everything connected. Now, in order for this to work properly, let me go find my case now, and what we'll do is we'll get the cover back on under here so I can run this through. We'll hook up this, the graphics card, and then we'll get everything else connected. Alright, so we have the power supply panel back on. We're going to get this ran through. So, alright, I might be up a little high, but it'll work. Alright, and the next, which is going to bend, which is going to suck. I hate bending these. I probably should use the other connector, but this bad boy's going to go right in here, because this is going to be the power for the board, so that's one of your main power sources, right? And then the other ones are up there. So looks like I got it. Feels like I got it. All right. Whew. All right, guys. So I'm gonna plug this in. I'm gonna power it up and test it. I gotta hook up my monitor, get all that connected. But for now, I'm gonna leave you with this. Like I said, I may make some mistakes. And to be honest, this has been interesting because I've never actually had to, I've never built a computer while recording it. So bear with me. I hope this works out for you guys. And I'll catch you all when I go to start it up here in a second. So, all right, so we got it booted. We're starting to set up, and we're gonna do a product key. So, give me a second. I'll get that product key in, and we'll move along. All right, so we got that product key in there, and we're going to accept the terms of the license, and go next, and custom install. So I'm only going to install this on one drive. So we're going to do new. We're going to put on drive 0. We want to take up the whole space because that's why I have 2 drives, so that I have one that I'm going to use for data. And we're going to apply. Windows might create additional partitions. We know. All right. And system, reserved, and primary. Cool. Works for me. And let's see. Next. There we go. And now it's installing. All right, so got the first stage of this done. We're getting ready. Let's get into it. Now keep in mind, this is Windows 10. And yes, I'll be upgrading when Windows 11 comes out. I'll be going to Windows 11 eventually. But again, I do this just because it runs Adobe really well. And that's how I do all my editing, is with Adobe Premiere and Photoshop and all that fun stuff. No, we don't want a second keyboard layout. I don't have internet because I don't have my cable plugged in, which is fine with me. I can do the setup later. I just want to create my account. So, what name do I want to give this account? You know what? That's what name we're going to give this account. I don't need, do I really need to do this? Alright, so I'll be right back while they make me do this nonsense for security questions. Alright, now that I got all that set up, look, I'm a type of person, I don't allow any of this stuff on mine, so no, we're not sharing location. No, it's a desktop. I don't need to find my device. I don't need to send diagnostic. Don't need that. Don't care about that, and don't care about that. And accept. And no, we don't want Cortana. Just not how I roll. And we're getting to the final phase. All right, so it finishes the setup, and we're here. So Windows is loaded, and we're good to go. And so from here on out, it's just about installing your applications and making sure everything is there that you need to be there. So without further ado, thank you for tuning in. This is Cyber Warrior. You're on Cyber Warrior Studios, and I'll check you all next time.